Hello and welcome to another gameplay review on the Virkayu gameplay channel, and in this one we have REK'SAI versus Karthus. REK'SAI just nerfed on that Q, taking a base damage plus bonus AD ratio and making it a simple total AD ratio, which means it scales in the base AD you have on your champion. Now this player is one of my favorite on the Korean server. I've been watching him for a few years now, always consistently challenger at the top of the ladder, and just has a really interesting style of playing, and usually in the past has focused on Virkayu. But this season, one of the better REK'SAIs on Korea. Let's see how these nerfs kind of factor in. Obviously, you're seeing here the Q into W was starting on those Raptors, going into the Krugs. Now, this clear is something that I tell a lot of people to do. Why? Because it allows you to go Raptors, Krugs, Red, Wolves, Gromp, Blue to set up a beautiful second sequence if nothing happens on the map. And that's the important thing. This nerf is meant to be... It's a nerf until level 13, right? That's the idea behind Riot's... or Freak's math, shall we say, which, you know, either does good things or doesn't do good things, depending on your perspective. But here, it's just going to allow us a bit more flexibility in terms of cutting into match the Karthus. Malphite versus Poppy, I don't really care about ganking that lane. Zoe has prior over Kiana, we know that, so we can shadow this. And obviously, we now have the Xayah and the Nautilus versus the Kai'Sa and the Blitz. Basically a bit of a range advantage there as well. So this, again, I love this. I put this in the Jungle Roots video on my main channel, where I basically said, hey guys, beginning of the season, if there's a full clearing jungler, a Karthus, a Hecarim, and so on, that's faster than you, by every metric, don't try and match them. Because by the time that they get down here and gank this lane, you're screwed. So what do? We cut out a camp so we can kind of skip out the Raptors or skip out the Wolves, but always the Wolves is the better one to skip. Because now you can go to the Gromp, basically, and keep your eyes on the bottom lane. You know the guy, look at the pings, finishing up to 55. That's exactly spot on tracking and expectation. Because the blue side does have this prio here, we know that the Karthus could look for an invade, especially if he has, you know, maybe the exhaust tech. This Karthus does not have the exhaust tech, so we ward over the wall to protect ourselves, and he still goes for this anyway. So we need to make sure we get the Q smite. And as always, please consider having a look at my jungle courses on my website, as well as joining us in the private jungle Discord to have access not only to the free jungle improvement PDF, but also weekly coaching classes, lectures, Q&As, and so much more, in addition to all of the jungle video courses included with it. The absolute jungle paradise for all junglers is Virkayu.gg. As I'm saying, this is one of my favorite junglers. No, he is very, very good. That's a little unfortunate, but the practices were good. The practices made sense. And now obviously we have the moving on up of the Karthus deep into our jungle. I love seeing this from Karthus. Aggressive jungling. People think he's a full clearing farmer. Oh, that hit! That hit! We have flash, but he has flash too. Can we do something about it? Bot lane is rotated, Blitzcrank is rotated. We get the kill on the Karthus. And now Kai'Sa is attacking the Nautilus. The three of us are on the side here. She's a little low mana. She's going to have to bounce out. There we go. So, wow. Fun early game to talk about. The REK'SAI damage nerfed, I think in those kind of situations, if you are a potent, frequent, knowledgeable REK'SAI player, you're going to feel it in these moments, right? Early on, there's no bonus AD at this particular stage in our build, but upon those Dirk spikes, right? Getting all the AD atomization, well, we don't really do that anymore. So the Strike Breaker spikes, you're going to notice that damage is a bit missing in your queue. And it kind of forces you to put a bit more emphasis on maxing it versus 3 points and then E, or like maxing E straight up, which is what they want to go away from. So definitely more bruiser focus. Now, again, from the theoretical point of view, I like what she did, right? But you're always going to notice clear speeds change a little bit, subtly, trades, everything. You're going to have to just get used to these little changes as they give them to the champions. Because with REK'SAI, it's every patch at the moment, they're giving something a little bit different. So you've got to be attuned to what those changes mean. Like even with the Zyra jungle buffs, everyone just kind of was like, oh, I can play it. Me, I've muscle memory for like 10 years. Then I had to learn to change a little bit when it came to my plants and my drags. So we do the REK'SAI quadrant, we skip the wolves to do the blue into the Gromp. The Karthus full clears down, no gank available, so goes for the invade. That's what he's meant to do. REK'SAI sees us and wards to protect. Unfortunately, mistime our smite on the Gromp, which is what we should secure. Fall back up to the wolves. Karthus goes back in here and keeps the pressure up. A whole fight develops because the Karthus was over-aggressive, and we're able to at least do another rotation here, and obviously take, well, not take, but shadow the top lane a little bit. Karthus decides, hey, you know what? I can full clear super duper quickly, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Take this Scuttle Crab on the bottom side, move back in. REK'SAI resets, and this is why I like what I'm going to explain in a second. Okay, look at this. Full clear, no gank, take scuttle. Huh. Go mid lane. No gank, take scuttle, don't take scuttle, doesn't matter. Well, I don't have enough gold to go back to base, so I take the Raptors because I started them, and then I take the Krugs because I did them right afterwards. Now I reset. I call it a clean 6, because you take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 regular cams in your first rotation. The REK'SAI does this, and because she's done this, she will match up nicely with the Karthus as he's already back down to the bottom side, so she can Vasok and meet him in the bottom side here, which is what she does. Which is why I like this jungler, because he does think like that, and it kind of resonates with the way I think about the game. So when you're scouting, and you're an analyst or a coach or something like that, and you have a philosophy that you coach and you put into your courses and your private Discord and your coaching classes, hint hint, wink wink, then it's really cool to see players who you have never interacted with kind of apply those philosophies in game as well as you. So it's quite nice. Not as well as, way better than, but in addition to you. So I like that. Now, again, we do need to start going here, so we're going to exert a little bit of patience here, a bit of a 5-second rule, waiting to try and go in on this lane. The Karthus will know that we're here, so we're going to flash and knock up full combo onto the Kai'Sa, sorry, on the Xayah, and we're actually going to die. So, this is not the best early game, which is why I kind of chose this. Because I wanted to show you a little bit, you know, these REK'SAI nerfs, they've hit us, they don't feel good. How can we recover from those nerfs, pre-13? How can we play the game a little bit when those ratios have changed subtly? And how do we play when we're against a fast-farming jungler who's actually pretty good PvP-wise? And you're seeing here, the Karthus knows the REK'SAI here. It's kind of a telegraphed gank. Should we invest that much time? It wasn't a lot of time, but, you know, it's more about, can I survive this? Or should I just call it quits, go topside, and maybe do some counter jungling if the Karthus decides to stay? We hold mid lane, which is crucial experience at this particular stage. Zoe is winning. Alright. Blitzcrank as well. Karthus on the other side. Alright, cool. I'm a respawn. I can keep doing what I do. REK'SAI, obviously at this stage, is going to say, right, Krugs are respawning. Red's coming up soon. Malphite is level 6. Poppy is level 6. They've killed each other. Ults are down on Poppy's side, so maybe we can try and do something about that. Karthus should keep sequencing. The lead here, 59 to 45 CS. Gold, 3,000 gold to Karthus, 2,300 to REK'SAI. Not good. How are we going to win this game? Let's find out. And I like it sometimes because I often put snowbally REK'SAI games because that's how you should play it. You should succeed, but it doesn't always work out, does it? Your clears, your game plan, the enemy jungler, the lanes, it doesn't always put you in this primed position. Now we know Karthus is sequencing top to bottom very, very quickly. So, why not go for this Herald, which is more important to us anyway as REK'SAI, while the guy keeps sequencing down. Blitzcrank moves to the bottom side here for the roam, gets W'd by the Karthus, so we know, okay, straight up the guy is there. Kinda knocks back for the ultimate into the Karthus kill, which should occur. There we go. REK'SAI is finishing off the Herald, because, what's this called? I swear he's good. The match history link below. Go watch his profile. The guy is literally very, very good at the game. We're just seeing a bit of a not so good game. But that's fine. That's fine. We're going to come out ahead here, ladies and gentlemen. Don't worry. Trust the process, unlike Philadelphia. We'll trust it properly. So, could we and should we leave the Herald to rotate to this only if we're needed? Otherwise, you can stay and finish it, which we already should have. There we go. Poppy shows up. Quickly run away. Don't get trapped against the wall. There we go. Now, Dragon is on the map, so we should probably reset with our 1,200 gold and see if we cannot match this in some capacity. Because Karthus died, he will respawn and go straight down to the zone. The Blitzcrank's already primed. Look at him. I'm ready to do things. Nautilus hasn't based. This is huge for us. Like, he's a little bit chunked. Zoe's doing a great job on the counter overall. We have that pressure mid lane. Nautilus is now pressured out. Why would you go for this? Okay, they're not. They're just checking. No, smited, queued, knocked up. Yeah, that's... Well, we had to die for it. But that's not the invade you want to go for. Mid lane chunked. Support chunked. Blitzcrank full HP. REK'SAI definitely coming back down to the bottom side. Kai'Sa, yeah, she's pushed in a little bit and losing fractionally by about 500 gold, but... Oof, not an invade I would necessarily recommend. So, once more we respawn, and once more we go onto the map. Now at this stage, the Karthus has to decide, do I want to go top sequence down again, or do I want to match the REK'SAI go to the bottom side camps and kind of counter gank that scenario, because REK'SAI should want to go down here to use a Herald down here. Let's see what he chose. He goes top side, which means we can go do stuff in the bottom lane. Haha, let's see. There we go. REK'SAI wall gaming. No, we do a flash now as well, but obviously our bot lane want to go back to base here. So we're waiting for them to try and bait it in. There we go. Excuse me. Again, his most played champion is REK'SAI this season. He's literally a challenger player. Plays a little bit too unfortunately this game, but hey, you know what? We're able to get the kill here. The Xayah is forced to flash the bubble. We can go reburrow, try and knock her up, try and avoid that rake stun as much as we possibly can. She's going to chuck out the feathers. We'll just let the Zoe do the damage there. We'll take that. Cool. We do have Herald that we can use, but Kiana's rotating down. She gets drowsy. Will that be enough? Yes, it will. Praise Seeker does not hit. Wow, this is not a good game. Oh, it does hit. Excuse me. Sorry. It does hit. Whew. See, even I'm getting negative. Karthus, in the meantime, ganks the rock on the top side. So we can definitely drop the Herald here and go to Dragon. I feel like in the majority of your games, you should have the ability to do that. All right? I feel like you can see them punching a few plates top side. You've got your Zoe here. She's a fed one. You're a little behind. Can we drop it, apply some plate pressure, get some more gold for them, fall back to the Dragon and do it before Karthus is able to get back down here? I think in most MMRs you should be able to do that, so you can afford to greed forward and then obviously fall back. The REK'SAI decided to not use it because we want to go back to base, suspend, get the Stride Breaker, shadow this now we can drop the Herald and then maybe take the Dragon. But the problem is the Karthus is already in the vicinity, our Kai'Sa is on the top side, Malphite has no TP, so I feel like a bit of a missed opportunity for that, but we can flank here. Oof, the flash knock-up into the chew toy, into the kill. Poppy shows up as well. We don't always see those TPs, but she TP'd in. We can reburrow in right now. Karthus, in the meantime, says, hey, can I do some high thievery and steal a dragon while you do that to the bottom lane? Yes, cool. Now I can fall back to my blue side. Well, the blue side of the map, but his red side quadrant. Definitely, I think, you know, I didn't expect it. If you look at the KDAs at the end of the game, you're like, probably a good REK'SAI game. Probably did a pretty good job. Not the cleanest, but again, challenger career. And I don't want to hear the comments being like, wow, I never play like this. I honestly, it's perplexing. It does happen still. Like, high elo players have bad games. They make bad decisions. They get outplayed by other challenger players. You know, otherwise the game would be pretty boring if you always won every game. Despite the fact that clickbait YouTube tells you otherwise, you don't win every game with 1,000 CS. Sorry to ruin that for you. Now, before I start saying things like Easter Bunny and Santa isn't real, let's get back into the game. Karthus, the side, take the plant away, say, excuse me, sir, that was mine, you cannot have some more. Blitzcrank is playing a good game here, we try to do the Stride Breaker. He does a flash up, so he gets the kill. You notice how we're just giving things up now, and I resonate with this. Let me explain why. Because in Season 9, when I was doing Giga Climbing using REK'SAI, I effectively, you know, because jungle econ was drastically different in that it was terrible, we had camp respawn times at 2:30, you had to spam gank to get strong. And so you could definitely solo carry games, but it was through the repeat ganking events, right? And falling back to camps to get catch-up experience that no longer exists and things like this. But at the end of the day, you just couldn't have the same econ as players like a Showmaker could, right? So if you watch Kenny do it with Showmaker back then, before they became who they are, you would notice just the REK'SAI spam gank in the mid lane and just give the kills away. Now, as REK'SAI, you do want those kills in theory, right? But as they keep shifting her more to a fighter-ish playstyle, less that assassin snowball, there's less of an onus on you having that bonus AD ratio, right? Because, well, you don't have it anymore in the queue. So for reference, we'll go back to Twitter in a second. Karthus is ganking on the Malphite, who's ground slamming, gets killed by a Q, ISO Q damage poggies. We have here a Stride Breaker. We are now going into that phage. Yeah, you know, we want to increase this as much as possible, the total AD, and, oh, wow, we shifted into the Hex Drinker. What do we think about that? I still kind of like, no, it's fine. I still think like our Black Claver and Sterax and, you know, we can throw in a GA and Hex Drinkers and things like this. They're still good. But we definitely are losing up until level 13 a lot of that damage on the Q, which we have now maxed, obviously. Over the wall, rotate to the mid lane ability, which we of course see. We're going to snag that kill there. TB from the Malphite. That was a little bit unnecessary. No real objective on the map. From this, we move into the jungle. So now we're 4-2-4, escalating nicely. All right. Game is still very, very equal. All right. Important to note that that is spawned here, so we're probably expecting this to be gone. Now we're moving into their jungle. We see the Qiyana show up. We want to be very cautious here because of her ult. I swear. He's good, but it's fine. Because this game probably more represents what you guys like to play. What happens when you're playing REK'SAI and you're having a bad game? How do you actually end up winning? And yeah, the Zoe's playing very well, but remember, we made these plays happen without pathing early on. And we're going to have to keep making things happen, right? We do almost everything with the Zoe. So, Kais is dead. Blitzcrank is going to be dead. Zoe shows up. Everyone's mid lane. Malphite is literally a rock in the head rushing Jack Show, TPing it for nothing and, you know, not being very useful. We lose the second Herald. They're punching it down here. We haven't got a Dragon. There we go. Alright, can we control our camps? Yes, but risky because they could be shadowing in. They pull back, so we're going to take the blue now. Make sure we give that to Zoe if possible. She's over chasing. And this is an unfortunate game for high elo Korean League of Legends, isn't it? It's not been a good 2 weeks for Korea in terms of their solo queue quality. Boy, that wasn't that wasn't fun to watch. So Qiyana's now over here. She does have the Edge of Night, where you have to be cautious if we can try and break that with our Prey Seeker before we go. And there we go, nice collapse. So you're noticing, and I think, as I said, why this resonates with me is because when you have these bad games on REK'SAI, how can you carry? How can you best position yourself and your team to still be able to maximize on what your kit offers? And a lot of people do miss those opportunities. So, currently, we are down in gold. We're going to fall back to this Dragon. This guy finally hit something that's useful. Now we're going to shadow in here. Maybe we can steal some Krugs. We're watching the Karthus top side. Guys, level 12, we're level 10. We're 2 levels down, right? So that's where the Karthus can start to take over, is by outpathing us and just outfarming us in this phase. So what is your utility as REK'SAI? Keep your team alive, knock up and make the picks where necessary, and try and get as much econ as possible. So we'll fall back to our Gromp here. Will give us level 11. Now we have 1200 in pocket. You know, the Hex Drink is fine just because of the nature of their comp, but I don't know if we just wanted to go into the Black Cleaver. Might have been good. Obviously, we get why we've gone Hex Drinker, but yeah. Standard builds. So, now everyone's shutting around the map here. Okay, this is what I like. Looking for the picks. Qiyana does hit. Hook into the knock-up, into the bounce up. Make sure you position properly here. We can go back in. We can reburrow on the left. There's the REK'SAI. There's the ult from the Malphite. Again, keeping our distance here, waiting to go back in. Obviously, 3 points in E at this particular stage. Repositioning, using the tunnels. Oof, we want to get into their zone. We want to actually kill them. We actually want to make those picks. But the critical thing that we learn here is just don't die. There's no Baron just yet. Take the camps as you fall away. Take them and get out. We have Smite. Don't need to use it. Alright. Now, can we make an assassination pick here with this? What are we? 11, not 13 yet. Not 13 yet. Probably not. Probably not. Okay. I like these games because these are the games that feel juicy. We wait for the Blitz to show up so we can actually work together. The Hex Drinker does like absolutely minimal stuff. We're able to ult and actually kill. Reburrow to heal as necessary. There we go. Double kill. Score for the REK'SAI. I'm excited. I like it when it works. Waited patiently, flanking in. Hex Drinker does its job. Able to get a double kill. Huge. Big sigh of relief. Although some of these plays would put you in the brig in a different time should the internet and League of Legends exist. Like the time Gangplank was banned from the game. God, that was dumb. That was so dumb. I'm a one trick. No, you cannot play Gangplank even in ranked. What? It's for a lore event. I don't care. I want to play Gangplank. Said Tobias Fate, another Gangplank player. It's not me. I don't like that champion. Anyway, so nicely done. We are now going straight into the Morph Mortius completion with the BF sword, which again, you know, I still like that kind of stuff. Nice ult there by the Malphite, and of course Poppy's still alive, getting tankier the lower HP she goes. Cool. This double pick here is the juice, man. This double pick here is what wins you games in these deficit states. I'm down 2 levels to jungler. Map is distorted. Back timers are distorted. if I can survive this bad fight and still punish the survivors from over-pushing, it gives you so much tempo advantage. Now we're doing Baron, but we of course see that everybody's low and Kaiser's died. We smite the Nautilus. We do kill, of course, the Xayah there as well. Now the Prey Seeker hits. We have Flash, but we don't need it because Hook. Stopwatch is used to stop the Karthus from killing us. TP is now being committed by, obviously, the Qiyana. So we cannot do the Baron, but huge swing. 8-3-10. Did we get out? Did we get out? Qiyana's flanking. We're protecting our Zoe. We're going to smite. I don't know if I would necessarily flash that if I'm the Qiyana. Okay. Well, that's the thing that happened. Now we don't have smite for another 38 seconds. So they can go to the Baron, which is the risk. And of course we have 1180 in pocket. So I still like an Edge of Night second and maybe into a GA if you're still super fed. Because again, the total AD ratio does matter. It's not just bonus AD, obviously. That's why they give no base damage with it. But once you cross that base Q damage plus bonus AD threshold that we had on the old Q, with your total AD, now you're buffed, right? And that's what they're kind of looking for. So it does make you a little bit more useful in this later game phase, which is something we always enjoy. I just realized we're super zoomed in. I don't know if it's always been like that. Let's zoom out. All right. Stopwatch, because again, we feel like, hey, we're in a position where even though it's an equal game, we're doing a lot of damage. And in the match history and the linked in the description, the match history linked in the description below, you will see that. Looking for flanking positions, very important. But what it does do is give you a bit of positioning tempo to go to the dragon, because now you force them to be honest. You can fall back to it. Let's beat her up. They push up mid lane, which is what they're meant to do, so we can't actually take it. Now they're in a better position, and we have 3 here, 1 here flanking, 1 here in the middle. We're not in a position we're flanking too wide. In a team comp where you cannot fight, but you're a dominating split pusher, consider doing this, and I'm not joking. Let them fight here over this. Consider doing this and really pushing the map in. You might lose this, but I don't think you would. But in a game where the fight is, say, already lost, and you're definitely losing this anyway, I love just trying to get an inhib, if I can do so quickly. But ideally, we're not in this position, right? We want to be flanking, we want to be in this fight, obviously. Sleep, flanking position is pretty good from the REK'SAI here. Zoe gets hooked. They don't see anything, now they will see the Prey Seeker. All about the fight. Or not. The blue team doesn't have the engage. Malphite does. Malphite goes in. REK'SAI shows in the back line. Beautifully done. They both die anyway. But Kaiser's free in the back line here. And we are able to kill the Xayah. So that was quick trigger pull. Everyone's dead but the Karthus and the Poppy. And we do have the poke from the Zoe. And obviously we have the Kaiser still alive there. But now she's out of mana. Downside of this build. Karthus is still very, very strong. Flash is burned. Alright, they're going to chase. 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 Okay, nothing's happening. Can we all respawn and go Baron, maybe? That would be nice. Let's see. So yeah, waiting for that flanking angle. We go in, but it's kind of tough. Alright, they're actually doing it. They're pulling the trigger on it, hoping that they can burn it before Rex is able to show up. Rex over the wall here is able to steal it. Nicely done. And the Malphite goes in as well. We're able to kill the Karthus. The Heck Drinker goes off here. We're going to ult to reposition and try and get a kill on the Qiyana, which we of course do. The resurrection from the GA occurs. So we bait them in and the rest of our team does all the killings. And as we all know, sometimes we need to steal Barons. There is great ways to jungle and win games and smurf it up, but sometimes you just gotta steal the Baron away. Again, part of the membership, I do a weekly video, and in the Jungle Detail, it's called Jungle Detail, and in the weekly video last week, I was down 10k gold at 40 minutes. I did everything I could to win that game, 80-90% KB, super high, but I had to steal a Baron still to win it, you know, like, making that comeback is great, but sometimes you just gotta do this. So now with 10, 4, and 13, this is what nerfed REK'SAI looks like. Pretty good at this stage, right, with this build. Pretty terrible early from what we were expecting damage-wise. So that's great. We're going to take this dragon here, and nothing else is going to happen. I think they just kind of shove it down. REK'SAI is going for, obviously, the dead mans for a bit more tankiness now, given that she does have to do a lot of engaging and peeling as well. So you see the flanking here. They go deep. REK'SAI's in the backline here with the Malphite, focusing on getting that Xayah out of the picture. We get that knock up there, auto-cancel into the second swoop of the Q. Doesn't work because she ults, so we'll ult to kill her. She dies anyway. Now we're still on the backside, surviving, thriving, dominating, and vibing. Nicely done. Good example of how to use that REK'SAI as well, not in an assassination kind of game sense. Even though you are kind of doing it, you're just diving as a diver and making sure that their ADC doesn't get to play the game. Nicely done. So, a messy game, hopefully a fun game, showing you a little bit that REK'SAI is still playable, still strong, still usable, but definitely a little bit of a shift in how that Q feels. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and comment if you did enjoy and learn something. And join me on Virkayu.gg for all of your access to jungle courses, jungle coaching, coaching VOD library, classes, lectures, everything you can think of.